Hey, I'm April Fox, and this is Deep Dark Yoga, doom metal, and some pretty gentle yoga stuff. I want to get into the shoulders today. I'm feeling like I need that, so grab a strap. If you don't have a yoga strap, get like a scarf, or I've used a pair of leggings. Just make it up, grab something. It'll work just fine. And if you have not already hit subscribe, you should do that so you see every time I post one of these videos. If you want to do this live with us and join in the community, we meet on Zoom Thursdays, 6 p.m. West Coast time, so check the info below. So glad you're here. Enjoy practice. I've been doing this book club with some friends. It's a discussion on the Book of Joy, which I talk about, I think, endlessly over the past several years. And we're reading through one of the kind of harder sections where they're talking about the obstacles to joy, like the feelings that we have that maybe aren't so great and so joyful. And a dear friend of mine, she said, it was actually really cathartic and I think kind of useful to read the section on sadness, because they talk about how people who've experienced sadness tend to have more developed cognitive functions and also greater joy, because they're experiencing more of this like depth in humanity in their existence. And she was like, wow, I always kind of felt like the sadness that I experienced when I was very young, I feel like I always lived in this place of sadness. Like I always felt like it was a waste. And looking at it from that perspective of thinking that all of the things that can come that are very much positives from having sadness in our lives, she's like, maybe it really wasn't a waste. Like I've really grown into the person that I am because of that sadness, and I can definitely see how I have those positive attributes in my life now. There was the author of the book was talking about that his father got sick, and he was like, oh, I'm so sorry that you had got sick. And the dad said, no, it's just part of my curriculum. This is just part of what I'm here to learn. And I love that, because really nothing that we experience is a waste. If anything, it's just a lesson in what I don't want to put any more time into. That I don't start off on a journey like automatically catapulting myself into the end of it, that I'm going to go through things that are going to teach me things and put perspective on the different levels of yay and no thank you of the things that I go through, and nothing is a waste. It's all this experience. So let's open the shoulders. No more sadness, unless you need that right now. We're going to start with some face brushing. Take your index finger and your thumb together. You're going to take the squishy spot at the bottom of your thumb, bring it to the center of your forehead, and brush outwards towards your temples a few times. And then from the sides of your nose out to your temples, along your cheekbones. And your temples down to your chin, along your jawline. And the sides of your nose down to your chin, along your laugh lines. And then bring your fingertips underneath and behind your ears, gently massaging and feeling a lift upwards from the back of your head, so the back of your neck is long. And rest your hands down somewhere that's comfortable to you. Take a moment and roll your shoulders around a few times to let them sit a little softer. And take some deep breaths. Noticing the way that you're feeling. Giving yourself permission to be present through the rest of this hour, even through the things that you might not feel that you're perfect at. Knowing that none of it is a waste. Take a really deep breath in, then let the exhale out through your mouth. Again, like that. For 3 ohms. If you've been sitting in this way and it's not super comfy and you want to change the way that you're sitting, you can even just slide your legs out in front of you or open them up, whatever feels good. Easy place for your legs to be. And we're going to take a side bend. So put one hand down and then reach one arm up. And then stretching out through the side body. And I want you to notice where you tend to put your arm. Even I do. Like I tend to put it like arm above my ear. And it's really close. And kind of pull back. And then you're going to take the other hand, take it off the floor, bring it back behind your shoulder, and going to pull that forward. You're going to pull the shoulder forward. A little more open behind the shoulder rather than like this is kind of pinched. And then go ahead and take that hand down. I'm going to put the right hand down again. This time, take this left hand, reach it all the way forward until you get into a side bend, and it probably feels way deeper there. Let out an exhale. And come on up. And then we'll just set this hand down. Just go to what's like the instinctual place. It kind of goes above the ear because that's the way we cue it, that's the way we talk about it, but I don't want my shoulder blade back by my spine. I want it to come forward a little more. So put your left hand down, take the right arm, and you're going to swing it forward, 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 forward until it keeps going, and then you're like, oh yeah. Big outer armpit stretch. Open the back of the shoulder. Take a big breath in and out. And then come on up. And you're going to take your right hand and or your left hand, stretch it out to the left side, and then relax your head down to the right. Stretching the side of your neck. Slowly move your chin down to your chest. Then bring your hand in and lift your head up. And we're going to reach the left arm or the right arm out. I'm not going to get this right today, apparently. We're going to drop left ear to left shoulder. So I'm reaching my head down away from my hand. And slowly start dropping your chin down towards your chest. And when you get there, go ahead and bring your arm in. Lift your head up. One more thing before we go down to the floor. Take your fingertips back behind you. Roll your shoulders back. Lift the heart and just start turning your gaze up to wherever it's comfortable. Like I don't like to let my head go all the way back. Just kind of look up a little more towards the ceiling. One more exhale. And relax that. And then come out of it and start to come down onto your back. Just bring your knees into your chest.
I don't know that.
And give yourself a hug and settle on down. I'm going to take your hands to your knees and make some circles. And then change the direction of your circles. Just loosening and relaxing the hips and the lower back. And keep holding onto your right leg. Let the left leg come to the floor or stretch out on the floor. It's up to you, and you might change that position in a bit. And then you're going to take this right knee and just kind of gently move it side to side. Find a comfy place to draw that knee in towards your chest and start moving your right foot around so that you're making circles with your toes and moving your ankle and your foot bones around. And then relaxing your foot, you're going to take the right knee and take it over towards the left. Take your right arm and with the palm facing up towards the ceiling, stretch it out to the right. The shoulder pulling down towards the floor, and then let your belly relax with every exhale you make. Let out one more exhale. And come back to your back and then start to pull the left knee in towards your chest. You can leave the right leg bent, foot on the floor, or start to extend the leg out. And then move your knees side to side, just finding some small movements. And keep opening and softening the tissue in the hips. Letting the leg rest where it's comfortable to draw it in towards you and start moving your toes in circles, making sure you go in both circles. Wiggle your ankle bones and your foot bones around. And let your foot relax. Take your knee and draw it over towards the right. Take your left hand, palm faces up. Drop the arm down towards the floor. Drop your shoulder back towards the floor. And with every exhale, relax your belly. So you either feel a deeper twist or you feel a softening in the twist. Exhale. And start to come back to your back. Bring both of your knees into your chest. Shift a little side to side. Make some circles again with your knees in both directions, just a few times. And then you're going to set your feet down and you're going to bring them to about mat width apart, or if you're not on a mat, just about a little wider than your hips. So your legs are going to stay apart. Take your arms and stretch them back. Spread your fingers out and reach them as far away from your head as you can. Probably feeling a little lift around your heart space here, a little bit of heat building up in the shoulders. Take another really big breath in. And on your exhale, let it go. Relax your arms. And just one more time, stretching out through those fingertips. Reach. And then as you exhale, let it go. And you can leave your arms flopped back. You could open them if they're feeling really tender today. Or you can reach and hold on to opposite elbows, which is one of my favorite things to do. But when I do this, the insides of my armpits get a little bit tight and lifted. So I want to think of relaxing my inner armpits, or think of relaxing the space between your arms and your ears. And then drop both of your knees to the right side. My legs didn't go together. They still stayed separate. I'm just getting a stretch through the front of the left thigh. Keep thinking of softening those inner armpits and give yourself 2 more breaths. Taking your knees back up And moving them over towards the left so that you have a bigger stretch along the front of your right thigh. And we still want to reach those elbows away if you can. Still soften the inside of your shoulders. Deep breath in, deep breath out. And come back to the center. Release your arms from each other and take them down by your sides. Bring your feet a little closer together. So just about hip width apart, nice and close to your hips. And with your arms down by your sides, wiggle your shoulders underneath your heart. Kind of lifts your heart a little higher. Push down into your feet and lift up into a bridge pose. Usually you can wiggle your shoulders under more when you get there, and it's up to you. Do you want to press your palms down to the floor to help you up? Or do you want to take your hands and interlace your fingers underneath your hips? And there's no wrong answer unless the answer you chose feels just painful or you're not able to breathe. Go for, not hurting yourself and breathing before anything else. Take another big breath in. And soften and relax your hips back down. I'm going to take your right leg up in the air. Take your hands and catch behind your leg. Most of us, with the length of our arms, can reach the hands around the back of the thigh. If that's not happening, you might need to grab something and put it behind your head so it just gives you a little extra lift. So if that's what you need, then you just do that to be nice to your hamstrings. We're just going to press the leg forward. So I can bring my leg pretty close towards my torso, partially because I practice that nonsense a lot, but that's not my work. I want to push the leg forward. It's a little harder to do, actually. It takes a little more effort. One more exhale. Release with your hand. Set the right foot down. And extend your left leg up in the air. We're going to take the hands around the thigh, and instead of drawing it in, I'm pressing the leg forward. So a little bit of heat in the hamstrings. One more exhale. Relax your leg, bring your knees to your chest, lift yourself up to a seat, and then roll yourself over onto your hands and knees. Take some cat and cow, just moving the spine. Inhale, look up, and exhale, round your spine. I like to bend my elbows, and then it feels like I can move a little more easily through those spaces. On your exhale, then go ahead and relax those movements. You're going to take your right hand and slide it down on the floor just behind your left hand until you come down to your shoulder and your head and rest there. I like to come up to fingertips. When I come up to fingertips, it's kind of like I'm able to open a little bit more into this twist. You are welcome to do whatever makes your heart happy with any sort of arm variations you might know. Or just leave that left hand in front of your face. One more exhale. Placing that left hand in front of your face. We're going to take an open twist. You're going to start to take your right arm up. And what I've noticed is that this feels kind of sticky. So move your left knee back a little bit, and then you can open a whole bunch more. And what I like to do is bend my elbow a little bit, and then I feel much more open across the heart. We'll add another exhale. And then let the right hand come down. Pull the left knee back in just so that you're balanced. And then the left leg goes, or left arm. I know my body parts, I promise. Come down to threading the needle. And then maybe come up to your right fingertips if you like, or just leave it where it is, or do something else. Let yourself settle into this. Just letting yourself kind of fall down towards that shoulder, feeling some opening. One more exhale. And then planting the right foot down, right hand. Man, I'm on a roll today. Lift the left arm up and then move the right knee back. Okay, good. Pretty sure I got most of those parts right. And then if you bend the elbows, sometimes you can open the shoulder a little bit more. It just feels a little extra spacious. And then go ahead and float yourself back to that table pose. So knees in line, hands in line. And start to walk the arms forward until you're able to bring your forehead down to the floor. And here you want to let your heart drop down. You can widen your hands if that feels better. If your shoulders are real tender today, I'd like you to bend your elbows and just kind of bring the hands a little bit closer. But still drop your head down and let your heart melt down towards the mat. One more breath out. And then look forward and come out onto your belly. We'll stay up on the elbows. Taking a Sphinx pose for gentle to moderate back bend. Otherwise, widen your elbows or push them forward if this feels a little stiff. Find a place that you can breathe in and try to draw your shoulders back. Heart is open and lifted, pressing the elbows down into the floor. One more breath in. And then go ahead and lower yourself down. I'm going to rest my head on my hands. There is an option that you can do all of the work we're going to do from Sphinx pose, so if you know that and that sounds good to you, you can go ahead, but I think this is quite fine, just resting down on my arm. I'm going to bend my left leg just because it's closer to you. And then I'm going to reach back and catch my foot. And I want to reach outside to hold towards it. Now, some of us aren't going to be able to reach. You can use that strap or whatever you have to kind of like lasso your hand. Or I want you to flex the foot, tuck your heel toward your butt. You're just going to reach open fingertips. So it's going to be different, the sensations it has, but it's still going to open your thigh, warm your thigh, and open your shoulder. So up to you. Do I want to pull? See how I'm kind of pushing the foot back to stretch my shoulder? I can do that, or I can do that. Two options. One more exhale. And then gently relax that leg. That arm, switch to the other side. So I'm going to hold my head in my other hand, drop my left leg, pick my right leg up, and I'm going to kick that foot back so it stretches the front of my shoulder. Another option is to flex the foot and reach the hand. One more exhale. Then release that leg, bring your hands in. Start to press yourself back up to your hands and knees. If you don't have your strap nearby, go ahead and grab that. It's an option to use it. In a moment here, we're going to take the right foot forward and bring your hands up onto your front thigh. And you want to find a place that you can lean a little bit into your hips. So I know I can move, because if I have my legs really close, then I can't really lean forward. It just won't work. So I need them a little bit further apart. Just gonna lift the heart. And then you have a couple options. You could just reach your hands back on your own. You could hold hands behind your back and stretch the shoulders out. For some of us, that's not super fun, so you can take the strap back and just hold on to that is you pull it back and open the heart. Thinking of that softness on your exhales. One more exhale. And then if you had hold of the strap, go ahead and set it down to your side. You're going to take your hands, interlace your fingers, and press your palms right up in, I call it the overhead luggage compartment space. So it's not over my head, it's kind of like just in front of over my head. Take a big breath in. And on your exhale, push those hands down, down, down until they get in front of your face. And then lift them back up again. Take a big inhale. Exhale all the way down until they're in front of your face. And one more. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, press them forward, 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 forward. And then release your hands. Take them down. Pull your right leg back. And then sit back to a child's pose. Pose we did earlier, that puppy pose or heart melting pose. This might look more like that, and that's okay. Just let your hips drop back. Wherever they go is fine. One more exhale. And start to lift yourself up. We're going to put the left foot forward, or whatever foot you didn't have forward before. And just leave your hands on your thigh and try to lean forward. If you can't feel any lean forward whatsoever, probably move your front foot a little further forward. I didn't say drop forward like that, like that's a lot. We can fall over, hurt ourselves that way, but just a little lean. One more exhale. And then we're going to take the hands back. You can grab that strap, you can just reach fingertips on their own, or you can interlace the hands. You're going to lift the heart up. When opening the heart, try to relax your throat. I've been like really pleasantly surprised with how much more that can help. One more breath out. So we got the front of the shoulders, we're going to get the back of the shoulders, interlace the hands and press the palms up. Take a really big breath in. On your exhale, press the palms out in front of your face. Inhale, take them up, that overhead luggage space. Exhale, drop them down and forward. One more, inhale, lift up. Exhale, bringing the hands forward until you take them down to the floor. Pull your left leg back, sit back into a child's pose. One more breath out. And pull yourself back up to table pose. Look at your hands, make sure they're about shoulder width apart, maybe a little wider. Spread your fingers out, push down really strong so you feel your heart lift up, and then keep pushing as you curl your toes under and come to a downward dog. Just pedal through your heels a few times so we bend alternating legs to stretch through the backs of the calves. And then you're going to step your feet a bit wider, so about as wide as your mat or a little wider than your hips. And we're going to walk the hands back to the feet and bend deep into the legs. I'm going to take elbows to knees, or if your hips are feeling more open, you can drop down into a squat at the back of your mat. If this sounds terrible for your knees and your hips, please don't do it. I'd like you to just be here. Let's go for 2 more exhales. And take your hands down. Go ahead and lengthen your legs. Take the bend out. Come to a forward fold. And then slowly bring yourself up to standing. I'm consistently needing to adjust my pants. So thanks for bearing with me. Let's do This is the real reason I wanted you to grab a strap today, but I'll show some times where you might decide that you want to use one instead of doing vines. So we're going to do a little bit of shoulder flossing, we're going to do some side bending, we're going to do some other stuff. So we're going to hold this strap wider than your shoulders, or hold on to whatever you're holding. I'm just going to keep calling it a strap, wider than your shoulders. And then now what I would like you to do is to slide your hands wider. And then do that again. Bring them a little closer and just slide your hands wider. And now you know how that works. So if you need to slide your hands wider as we do this, then that's just what you do. It's totally okay. See, we already practiced. It's good. So you're going to start wider than your shoulders. And then I want you to think of your trunk here getting really solid. So we're going to lift the front of the hips. Relax your ribs so that they're closed together and they're not going to fall open. A little bit of heat here, but still something you can breathe through. And then inhale, lift your arms up. And you're going to let the hands slide wider as you drop the hands down behind your back. And you're going to keep that core nice and strong. Lift the arms up. Exhale, hands go forward. Inhale, go up. And slowly, maybe slide the hands wider, taking it back. All the way up, and you can see I'm staying pretty steady in my center here. A little bend in the elbows, all okay. Last time, bringing the arms forward. And then you're just going to bring your hands together. You can keep holding up the straps, you don't have to go down and grab it. And you're going to make Vira Mudra, or like Charlie's Angels hands right here. Swing that behind my head so it's not irritating. And then bring your feet together. You're going to reach your index fingers up as high as you can get them. So push down into your feet. You get extra long here. Take a breath in. And then side bend to your right as you exhale. And push down a little bit more into your left foot. Take another breath in. Let it out. And going up and over towards the other side. And here we're pressing more into the right foot, so it's kind of lifting and stretching you more. One more exhale. Then come up, and you're going to release your hands and slide them a little bit wider and bring them about shoulder width, maybe just barely shoulder width, and then step your feet out to about hip width. And we're going to take a side bend. This time I want to pull away and apart with my hands. So I'm not moving my hands, but I'm pulling apart a little bit. One more exhale. Then up to the other side, pulling apart and reaching away. Still push both feet down. One more exhale. And then come up, relax your arms, and take this behind your back, bringing your hands just outside of your hips. My palms face behind me right now with my elbows bent. I want to turn my palms to face towards each other, which is bringing my elbows closer towards each other. And then start reaching that strap down and back. Really pull the heart up. You can bend the knees a little here if that feels better for your spine, for your lower back. Big opening. Pull apart and down. One more exhale. And then relax it, release it, maybe wiggle it. And so for the rest of practice, what you might want to do is when I say do some vines like this, if your shoulders don't like that, if that feels hard to breathe through, just grab your strap and like hold it like this, okay? So that's what you do. That now is your new happy place. Once you found your happy place, stick with it. Who cares if other people are doing it? So you're going to have your right foot forward and your left foot back. I have really long arms, so vines are just kind of a little bit easier for me because I have a lot of noodle to work with. So, that's just something to keep in mind. It's not like a bad or good at yoga thing. It's like how long are my bones? So I'm going to bend into the front leg here. I'm going to reach the arms up. Warrior one direction. I'm going to take my hands and I'm going to bring them together back behind my head. Open my elbows. I want to keep my legs strong and then relax the head back. And then notice if my shoulders got tense and try to relax them. One more exhale. And lift my head back up. I'm going to take my hands and I'm going to bring my elbows and my palms together. Another option is to take my right elbow on top of my left and wind the arms up like this, eagle feathers. If you don't want eagle feathers, we're just doing a pressing them together as much as they will go. I'm going to take another exhale. And inhale. And then pull the elbows down just a little bit more. And lift them up a little bit, just a couple inches. Exhale, pull them down a little bit more. You'll lift them up a little bit. Exhale, pull them down just a little bit more. And then go ahead and unwind your arms and take your hands to your hips. Straighten the front leg. We're going to pull the elbows back. And this is probably something you don't think that you need to think about, but can you stand on both of your feet, like at the same time, intentionally pushing both of the feet down, and then just go forward with your heart. Now I'll tell you what, with my right leg, I am not going to get parallel to the floor today. I can just feel it. But I do feel it. I do feel a stretch. So that's the only place I'm going for. One more exhale. And then come back up. And we're going to do another movement. It's going to be heart first. And what you don't want to do is go shoulder first, because that doesn't feel good. I'm going to go heart first. So I'm going to bend into the front knee again. I've got warrior one in my legs. I'm going to take my hands. You can hold onto the strap or reach your hands back behind you. We're going to go heart up and then heart first as you go forward towards your thigh. Just one more exhale. And then stand yourself up, relax the arms. Out of it, shake and wiggle things, and step the other foot back. So warrior one on the other side. So we're going to have the left foot forward, reach the arms up, bending into the front knee, back toes face up enough that you can have the back leg straight. And bring the hands back behind your head. You can go open elbows, palms together like we did before, or you can have like thumbs go down towards the back of your neck, just depending on how your shoulders feel, which one you like. Do the one you like. My goodness, life is weird enough. Do the things you like. Soften those inner armpits if you can. One more exhale. And then bring those hands forward. You're going to have elbows and palms together, or elbows as close together as they'll go. Or you can take right arm on top and do the palms together. If you've got really big, beefy shoulders, then it's going to be harder. If you've got a lot of anatomy in the front of your body, like that's not going to be super comfortable. So you just press where it goes. You're getting the same kind of benefits. Your exhale, draw the elbows in a little bit. And let them lift up a little bit, inhale. Elbows drop in a little bit, exhale. Lift up a little bit, inhale. Exhale, drop in a little bit. And then release your arms and bring the front leg pretty straight. Hands go back. And then check, am I pushing both of my feet evenly down to the floor? Heart is open, heart goes first. Forward over that leg. And you go to the place you find a stretch. No need to go beyond there. You can keep gently looking for the stretch. One more exhale. And coming up, we're going to bend into the front knee again. Don't let the knee go beyond the ankle. Reach the arms back, grab a strap or grab your own hands. Open the heart, and the heart goes first, down in between those legs. 2 long breaths. And because it's hard, come on back up. Release your arms, release the feet. Shake and wiggle things out a little bit. 2 more standing things to ask of you. Well, one of them will be one on each side. First thing, just a wide-legged forward fold, because I think I got to do it like every time. So wide legs, relax your knees. You can hold hands at your shins if the floor feels like a long way away, or grab a block or your dog. Think of softening here, not demanding anything more from your body than where it's willing to go. But can you soften into that place? One more exhale. Then come on up. You're going to turn your toes over towards the right. Right toes all the way, left toes a little bit. Bend into your leg and take your arms open in warrior two. And the movement you're going to make with your left hand is going to be to swing across. So we're going to take the right elbow down, and then I'm going to swing that right arm across so that I have a side angle, and I don't want the arm to come all the way back or my shoulder's pinchy, right? I took it across, so I'm really open behind that shoulder. One more exhale. And come on up and switch your feet. So left toes all the way over, right toes in a little bit. Bend the knee, make sure it goes out over your second toe, open the arms. And the movement of your right arm is going to go across. We're going to take the left elbow down and move that arm across until it hits the sweet spot. And if you're like, oh man, maybe I missed the sweet spot, you go forward and you try again. And when you hit the, oh yeah, that's the spot. It's like, oh yes. This is just divine. It's delicious. One more exhale. And come on up. Bring your feet in. And then go step back towards the back of your space. And take a nice big breath in as you lift your arms up. And as you exhale, fold down. Bend your knees enough that you can bring your hands down and start to walk yourself forward. In a downward dog. Reach down into your hands, just one more exhale. And gently lower your knees down, untuck your toes, sit back, do a child's pose, resting your forehead down, or bringing your hands in underneath your forehead if that's going to give you a little more support and ease in your neck. Start to pull yourself upwards into a table pose. Keep your right toes curled under on the floor. Slide the heel back and take a few rocks back and forth just to get the foot and the calf stretched out a little bit more. Those of us who are in spring are going to be experiencing some more open-toed footwear, etc. coming up, lots of hiking. Or maybe you need your feet more open in preparation for boots and socks weather. Pull your right knee in, take the left leg back, toes curled under. If you always live in sandals, then probably you also need some relaxing into your feet. And then bring the leg in and start to come down onto your back. Woo. Knees in the chest, give yourself a hug, and good old rock from side to side. Let your arms open up and let your knees drop over towards the right. And maybe you push down in the back of your right arm so you can roll that left shoulder a little more open towards the floor. Just let your body start to soften down. Starting to relax, control. Bring your knees up and take them over towards the other side. You might need to press now into the back of the left arm. Kind of roll that right shoulder more open. your exhales. Letting out one more. Coming back to your back, set the left foot down, put your right ankle on your left knee. You can take the right arm in between here and hold on to your left leg. Again, if you're having trouble holding on and you feel like your head is lifting or your chin is lifting, if your neck doesn't feel comfortable, grab like a pillow, put it behind your head. That'll make a big difference. I got a lot of hair. It's already lifting my head up. I'm just realizing that's actually way more comfortable from when I don't have a lot of hair. And instead of trying to draw the legs right up into your chest, try instead to relax your hips down, and it's going to get a little deeper. Also a lot easier to breathe that way without legs up in your chesticles. One more exhale. Set your left foot down, unwind your right leg. Put your left ankle on your right knee, reach in between, grab up for that right leg. Hips softening down. Exhale. Let your right foot come down and your left foot come down. You want to bring your feet again nice and close to your hips, about hip width apart. We'll do another bridge pose. So arms down by your sides, wiggle the shoulders under your heart, push down in your feet so you can wiggle the shoulders under more, and it's up to you. Press the palms down or hands together, or maybe you use your hands to gently lift your hips because this feels a little hard and you'd like to give yourself some support. By all means, please do that. But push down into your whole foot, especially the big toe edges, so you're really getting some of the power that you usually have of standing on your feet. One more breath in, and then as you exhale, relax your shoulders, release your hands, take those hips all the way back down. Bring your knees up into your chest. A gentle shift from side to side. Now let the feet come down to the floor. And cross your left leg all the way over your right leg. So knee on top of knee this time. Give your hips a little scooch over towards the left. Open your arms and take your legs to the right. I like to stop where my foot catches me. That feels a little more secure. If you like to drop the knees all the way over, then that's totally fine. I'm just now realizing we have done some deep hip opening that's letting that feel a little more okay to me than it usually does, but this is also a great place to stay. All right, I'm just leaning into it. Usually I don't love that depth. Just being with what is here. One more breath out. And then unwind your legs, come back to the center. You'll have to wiggle your hips back to center. And then take your right leg all the way over on top of your left leg, knee crossed over knee. Scooch your hips over to the left, and then you let the legs go over towards hips go to the right, legs go to the left. So the opposite of what we did before. Strange right and left thing. One more exhale. Unwind yourself as you come back into the center. Wiggle your hips back to your center. Take your feet together. Let your knees open. Just feeling this expansiveness across the front of your body. If your legs feel tender at the inner thigh, just hold your thighs gently with your fingertips. Send yourself this offering of just a willingness to be here, a willingness to rest, to soften your senses and your body, knowing that absolutely none of it is a waste, especially not relaxing. You can move to whatever shape feels most comfortable for you to rest in. Maybe you just bring your knees closer together, your feet out wide, and take your arms down closer with palms up. Maybe slide the legs out. I like to give a little snuggle with my shoulder blades under my heart, just because it helps my heart to feel more open. You're welcome to slide your legs up the wall or put them on the couch or take a seated meditation, but we'll spend a couple of minutes resting like this before we wrap up together. Start to come back to your body. Taking some deep breaths, wiggling your fingers, your toes, that helps you to connect and make yourself a little more awake and alert. And then rolling yourself over to one side, offering a moment of gratitude for coming to your practice. Taking this time to share together. And then coming up into your own version of a comfortable seat. Through your hands together at your heart, we'll seal the practice, releasing one more Om together. Bowing down to that love, the light, and the darkness that resides within each of our hearts. Thank you, friends. Thank you for tuning in. Why you always gotta be licking my face? Oh my goodness. Thank you. Thanks, Wendy. Thanks, Lisa. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Thank you. See you soon.
What?
I can't hear. What?
Oh, now I can hear you.
Oh, we couldn't hear you. Oh, that's so weird. All good. Thank you. So good. Thanks. Have a good one. Stretch.
Adios.
For us.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.